So this is the BMW I X, brand new from BMW, completely electric. Comes in two versions, a 40 and a 50. The 50 will not be available until next year. This is actually the 40 version of it. There is a 50 version with 523 horsepower. It's coming next year. That'll be in Ireland. That'll have a 612 kilometer range. This one has 413 kilometer range. 326 horsepower. The iX M60 will be available next year to purchase. This one is, okay, 98 grand. You're gonna have to put about 100,000 euro to get this one on your drive. A self-healing radiator grill, kidney grill. Not sure what the self-healing bit really means or how that's what it does. It seems to solve its own scratches. Never had that one before. But there is, we were told this morning, an awful lot about it. Now the thing that they're actually going to put together for us is the charging infrastructure attached to this. There's a little bit to get through on this one. They've done a deal with a lot of electric suppliers. So you pay a fee to BMW, and BMW give you a card, and you can use the card in the UK, Ireland and Europe to charge your electric vehicle. One of these, the iX or the 4 Series, the i4 that's coming next year as well. i4 will come in a 40 and a 50 as well, 340 horsepower or 544 horsepower, 795 newton meters of torque, 3.9 seconds, 0 to 100 is pretty good with a 510 kilometer range. That's on the i4. That's actually kind of exciting. This is good too. Proper family vehicle, this one. It's like something that landed from space, isn't it? Anyway, let's crack on with a bit of a drive in it. This is the new BMW I X. About the size of an X5.
Please make a U-turn if possible and then immediately turn left.
We've already messed it up.
Please make a U-turn if possible and then immediately turn left.
It's okay, I'm going to rush.
Now turn left at the end of the road and then immediately turn left again. The expected drive time is 1 hour and 1 minute.
1 hour and 1 minute at the behest of this vehicle that feels like no other vehicle on the road. I don't know what kind of steering wheel. I have virtual. This is virtual guidance. It's put an arrow. That's brilliant. Who came up with that idea? That's the best thing I've ever seen for sat-navs. I love that. And I have it on a big heads-up display thing on the top of the screen here. That's awesome. I love that. I'm not going to talk about anything else other than that thing that tells you what direction to take on the road. Oh man, this is deadly. Oh, there's a car in this lane. What's James and Gerald's doing? Sons and daughter.
Turn left in 200 meters at the end of the road onto Blackthorn Drive and then turn half left.
Half left. A half left. We'll find a way to mute her in a bit, but I think that's kind of fascinating. That steering wheel is really weird to feel because it curves in on the sides. Cars coming from everywhere. We'll wait because there's a lot of them. Anyway, I got a little bit confused today by BMW's talking, but it's interesting nonetheless because BMW are going to do their own electric charge stuff. They're going to have their own, not their own network, they're going to use everybody else's network. So they're going to use Ionity and Electricity Ireland and all those kind of ones to provide you with the best possible experience that you can have. I can't understand that. What am I going? What the hell? What the? We're going up the road, not down the road. Ugh, the acceleration. And these are only the 40 version. There's a 50 version as well, which is much higher, much more firm acceleration, really gets you going in the morning. Probably not going to be available in Ireland until next year sometime. Going to be very pricey as well. This one though is the 40 version of it, slightly lower range. 344 kilometers, what it says on my dashboard at the moment. Obviously, that's very dependent on how you drive. You sit there doing 120 kilometers an hour all day, it's going to cost you a fortune because it just eats electricity. Like a petrol car would eat petrol if you drive fast all day long. The front-facing camera giving you the direction stuff is genius. I have to say, I love that. Pulling away from traffic lights and an experience all to itself. There's like, it's like getting a boot up the arse, like, you know what I mean? Just doof, up you go and off you go, and that's the end of it. It doesn't, it feels like in here, it feels like a massive car, but on the road it doesn't actually feel that big at all. But looking at the dash, it just looks huge, the whole size of the car. Again, we're after getting good suspension in these cars because you just don't feel the bulk of the car underneath. You don't feel that heaviness that you feel in a lot of other electric cars. Just the way they've worked the suspension. And I suspect the positioning of the battery precisely in the tray form underneath and all that. So here I am out on the N7. This is the 3-lane section, 100 km/h zone here. The car is using its adaptive cruise control and the steering assist and all to get along the road. And like, I've been thinking about this conundrum of how do you fuel the future, you know? Because most certainly electric cars can be used by everybody. I'm passing by an Ionity station over there, which BMW have done a deal with Ionity on their cars. So when you buy a BMW, this one of the electric ones, you're given the Ionity membership, which you can use as a pay-as-you-go. It's 78 cents per kilowatt. That's insane money. That's a lot. I would suggest if you were to use Ionity at the full price of 78 cents per kilowatt all the time, you'd spend more on it than you would on diesel. But the conundrum still exists of how do you get that person out of that Jaguar, the XF, beautiful car, gorgeous thing. It's only a 131. It's a relatively young car. It's not old, but it doesn't even look old. It looks fresh. How do you say to that person that they need to spend €98,656.18 on buying one of these? It's 100 grand. Now I know you probably PCP it or you'll fleet it, whatever way you buy it, you probably won't end up paying all of that at once. But lads, that's a lot of money. €100,000 to go electric. It's very well spec'd. I like the spec on it. I like that thing that SatNav does, and I like there's lots of hidden tech. Shy tech is what they call it, not shy tech. Shy tech is what they call it. So the adaptive cruise control panel and all that stuff is all hidden behind the electronics of it is all hidden behind the kidney grill on the front. And that's beautiful, beautiful thing to do because it shows a kind of a subtlety in the change and how you feel about driving the car. But this is just gorgeous. It's big as well. Look, my elbows don't actually touch the door when I flap them up and down, you know. No, I'm not near. I have to kind of stretch out to reach the top of it. It's a beautiful car, beautiful interior. 100 grand though. And it's the 41. 51 is more and has a bigger battery. I'm going to report on L range when I get there because I'm not going to hold back. I'm just coming to 120 km/h zone. It's just ahead, so I'm going to click set, which will set me up to go at the speed. So the car knows that there's 120 km/h zone ahead, and I've already told it that it's okay to increase the speed to 120 in that zone. Now, I know that driving at 120 km/h over long range electric car just eats the fuel, man. Just eats the electricity. Will all be gone in like as it goes through it, because like aerodynamically 120 is much different than 100. The airflow around the car, even with the drag coefficient in this car being 0.25, I think it is, there's still a lot of air slamming it in the face and trying to hold it back and drag it down so it can't go very fast. So the faster you go, the higher the coefficient of drag becomes, so the car gets literally sucked backwards, so it can't go forward as fast. So it just adds more energy to the pack to make it go faster. Now this is really quiet. I'm doing 120 already. This is like deathly silent in here, but I know that my range is going to get less very quickly, and that's okay. That's all right, because I don't mind, because I'm actually just driving the same route, and I'm assuming when we get there, they'll either have charge points or I'll have enough to come back. And I think I'll have enough, because it says I should have 78% of my battery left when I get there. Let's see if that's true. What a super drive down. I'm nearly there now. 1 kilometre to go. 76% battery left. No, sorry, I have 77 left. It says I'll have 76 left. I did 120 kilometres an hour all the way on the motorway. It's difficult to fault this car. I know it's 100,000 euros. Kind of before we set off, I wanted to show you the back. It's very flush, you know, it's very flush. Now it's beeping there because it's opening doors and stuff for me, but when you open the boot, it's a clamshell boot. So it leaves behind these light panels as the clamshell. So lighting at night time is still lit up. But I do find there's quite a bit of intrusion from the hinges of the substantial doors it opens. It's a big door. I mean, look at the size of that thing. It's a big door. The boot is okay, it's not a bad space. And the car itself is very flush. In this black colour, it's very flush, isn't it? I think. Nothing sticks out at you. Even the door handles are hidden in the door frame. You know? It's very weird. Weird car. Right, so I've had my lunch. And I drive the car back. I've been talking to the BMW people inside and talking to other journalists as well. God, I keep forgetting to press the start. Look started, but it's not started. Anyway, I've been talking to the BMW inside, and it seems I can't quite explain why this is an important vehicle, a very important vehicle. The reason I suspect it's so important is simply because it's fully electric, but it's a full-size vehicle. So it's not a small vehicle, it's a big vehicle, you know? And it's very powerful. It's very hard to wrap my head around why I like it so much. I can't quite make you understand why, in my mind, this is probably one of the finest electric cars to grace the market anywhere. BMW have nailed this car. Now, prices in Ireland, obviously, because, you know, God, the way prices work here, prices that work in Ireland don't reflect just how good a vehicle this is. It's 100,000 euros, and that's very hard to wrap your head around. For an electric car, 100 grand's a lot of money. And yet, it actually feels a 100 grand car. There are very rare situations where a 100 grand car feels that way these days. But this actually does. The materials used here, this floating dash thing, it's extraordinarily well put together. Anyway, that's where I leave the BMW I X, and the new I range that is coming from BMW. It's exciting times, and it really is. It's the most exciting time, I think, ever to be a motoring journalist and to work in this field. It really is a very, very unusual time that's coming at us right now. But it's good, but that's it. That's as far as I go. Thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe to the channel. It's very important you subscribe. I'd be very happy to hear your thoughts and what way you want the channel to go, but I know what way I'm going. The Sunday service will return in December for a Christmas run, straight through till our Christmas special, which we usually do on whatever the Sunday is that's closest to Christmas, might be before or slightly after it, I forget what it is now. But we'll be doing the Sunday service back again for a couple of hours. You can always support us on Patreon. It's the patrons that make us work here very well. It's also you guys that do channel memberships, and it's all part of the whole group. I know YouTube are reviewing their channel membership agreement at the moment. See what to do after that, but it's interesting to see where everything's going, and I'm quite happy to continue what I'm doing. So make sure you hit the subscribe button and look after yourselves. And thank you for watching again. And until the next time, I'll see you on the far side.